Hello everybody and welcome to the last day of week 2 of your 8-week Pilates course. Today's session, just like last week, is focused on mobility and stretching and recovering ourselves from all the work we did this week. We're going to have a really big focus on spine mobility today. Let's get stuck in. We're going to be starting with our roll downs, but we're going to add a little something different in the middle of them here. So inhale to prepare. Find that Pilates stance, do your check-in from feet up to the head, checking with that pelvis, maybe a few tilts back and forth till you find that neutral position. Roll the shoulders up. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, engage that core, magnets drawn together, nod the chin to chest, and begin to roll down through that spine, vertebra by vertebra. Peeling yourself off the wall, letting the arms hang in front of you. You know the score by now. Keeping those knees nice and soft to start as we warm up. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, use that core, squeeze those magnets in to draw yourself back up. Again, vertebra by vertebra, segmentally moving through that spine. Roll shoulders back and down, head is the last thing to rise. One more. Exhale, chin to chest. Let the arms hang in front of you. Inhale at the bottom. Let go of that neck, maybe give it a little shake, little nod. Exhale, draw that core in as we rise. Roll shoulders back and down. Head is the last thing to come up. Lovely. We're going to do one more. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, peeling off. See if you can go even slower this time. The slowest one you've done over the past 2 weeks. Feeling each bone of that spine, creating space. Lovely. Once you get to the bottom, don't forget you don't need to be right down to the floor. Wherever you feel you're at your maximum, not feeling too much of a stretch yet. Inhale here. Exhale, release that head and neck by shaking the head out. Imagine you're like a rag doll, just hanging here. We're going to lift, we're going to extend that spine forward, straightening through the back, placing the hands just above the knees, creating a nice flat back position here, and beginning to lengthen through the back of those hamstrings. Still don't need to have them completely straight, but starting to straighten through them, keeping that head nice and long and in line with the spine. And then we exhale down and roll up. So just getting a bit of different sort of movement in the spine there and starting to warm up those hamstrings. Make sure your weight is still in the middle of your feet. Inhale, prepare here. Exhale, lift. Imagine somebody's pulling your tailbone and your head in 2 opposite directions. Inhale, hold. Exhale, up. Inhale, prepare. And exhale, draw the core into lift. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. Peel. Still as slowly as you can. Great work. Feeling that back warming up and mobilizing. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift. Keeping that core in, keeping that pelvis nice and even. Exhale off. Exhale, lift. Let's go for one more like that. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, chin to chest. Lowering down. Keep those knees nice and soft. They may be starting to lengthen out, straighten out a little bit more. Here. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, hold. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale, lift. You might even feel a nice stretch of the shoulders, and you'll roll down as if they're a bit tight. Lovely, stacking that spine up, checking in with that pelvis position, keeping the ribs pulling in and melting towards the hip bones so not flaring. Lovely stuff. Okay, we're going to work on a bit of that lateral flexion next with some side bends. So I just want you to bring your feet hip width apart. Take that right hand, we're going to stretch up, and we're going to be side bending, but as you bend to the side, I want you to really imagine someone's pulling your fingertips up, so it's more of a diagonal stretch rather than a bend over. So up, exhale as you go over, creating length through this right hand side, but still stabilizing through the left obliques. Lovely, inhale here. Exhale, pulling the shoulders down. Maybe get a bit more extra stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, using that core to keep yourself in this position. Exhale, release. Restacking that spine sideways. Let's go on to the left hand side. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, up, stretching up as tall as you can, fingertips reaching towards the ceiling. And we're going to lift up out of our hips and over diagonally, as if your fingers are reaching more towards where the wall meets the ceiling rather than trying to get down to the floor. Inhale. Exhale, shoulders down. Make sure we're not arching the back. Inhale. Let your head just be in line with the rest of the body. Any extra stretch, pull that arm away. Inhale. Exhale, release. Let's go again on the other side. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, up and over. Keeping as much length still in the opposite side. Keeping an equal amount of weight between both feet. Don't put more weight into this left leg. One more deep breath. Left arm over. Feeling the fingertips of that right hand reaching closer towards that knee as you stretch over. Lovely, let's go one more time each side. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, up and over. Great work, everybody. Still pulling yourself out of those hips. You're trying to make your torso as long as possible, even as you're bending over to the side. Shoulders down. One more breath. And last one. Inhale, exhale. Lovely. And return. Well done, everybody. Right, you're going to bring yourselves just to the end of that mat or somewhere in the middle, just towards the back. One more time, checking with that position. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, rolling down towards the floor. And we're going to be bringing ourselves into a 4-point kneeling position. So just make contact with the mat, walk those hands out until the knees come down to the floor. Let's go for some cat-cows. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, looking up towards the ceiling, extending that spine. We're going to do this nice and slow to start. On your next exhale, we're going to tilt that pelvis under, move through the spine, flexing through it, pushing those shoulders up towards the ceiling, and a few deep breaths here in this position. Nice and soft in the elbows. Inhale, lift. Breathing into those ribs. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up to the ceiling, arching that back. Pulling the shoulders down still. Exhale. Lovely, keep moving through that in your own time, following your breath, creating a sense of flow. Going between that flexion and extension of the spine. Next time you come up, I want you to bring those ribs over to the right hand side and then drop them. Take them over to the left and lift up towards the ceiling. So we're making some circles here with the chest. Now this can be nice and free, just whatever feels best for your back, but kind of following that cat-cow movement, but just making it a circle. You can stretch here into any areas that feel a bit tight, not as mobile. Lovely. As you come up to the top here, we're going to reverse. Over to the left, arch in the back, so you find that cow position at the bottom. Over to the right, lifting up into that angry cat. About 3 or 4 times each direction. Lovely. Let's do one more. Come up to the top. And find that neutral position, that nice tabletop here. Lovely. I want you to just walk those palms a bit forward, a bit ahead of your shoulders. Drop those hips through that cobra, and then just lower the chest down. Might need to alter your position. We're going to do some darts to carry on working on that extension of the spine. So I want you to bring your arms down to the side here, palms facing in towards the legs. This is a kind of a variation from that diamond press we've been working on, but this time we're going to be starting to take away the arms. Okay, so inhale to prepare. Exhale, pull those shoulders down the back, rolling the marble under the nose. We're going to lift the upper body just about above, just above where the breastbone is. Lifting it off the mat, really pulling the shoulder blades down the back. And then we lower back down. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Now, just like with that diamond press that we've been working on, keeping the head and neck in line. You've also got the option to keep the hands by the side and push up and down like this. This is more for our mobility and stretching, so don't worry if you don't want to work the back quite as much today. And we'll go for 4. Really pull the shoulders down the back, as if somebody is pulling those fingertips down towards your feet. 3, 2, and 1. And relax there. Placing those hands just by the chest, we're going to lift up. Option to either come into a full cobra here, or to place the forehands in front of you. Bit of a sphinx position. Find a bit of stretch there. Whichever feels most comfortable for you today. And this can change day to day. There may be days where you feel like you want to go for the full cobra, or days where, even though you can do the cobra, you just want to focus a little bit here on that upper back. Finding that stretch there. Maybe bring the head up towards the ceiling, stretching through the front of the neck. Now we're going to go with that cobra to child's pose movement that we started working on last week. So you are going to find that cobra position. Inhale. Exhale, engage that core, pulling up through the hips and bringing the heels down towards the bum, down towards the heels. Inhale here. Exhale, lifting up and through and dropping those hips into a cobra. Inhale, exhale. Pushing back, feeling the length in the back in this child's pose. Inhale, exhale. Into that cobra. Pushing that pelvis down towards the mat. Now you move in your own time, creating a sense of flow. Just like those circular cat-cows we did. Just really moving through what feels good for your body today. Really great work, everybody. Let's go for 2. And for 1, don't forget to still engage that core. And maybe hold this. Again, just have a little stretch here. Or if you want to stretch out in the opposite way, hold that child's pose at the bottom. Lovely work. Okie dokie. We're going to work a bit more on that twist of the spine. Some rotation here with a little variation of the saw. So I want you to come to seated. Bringing our feet out in front of us, feet flex, legs nice and straight. Creating a small little V here, maybe just to the edges of your mat. You've got the option, if you feel a bit tight through the hamstrings, you can take either a small pillow, rolled up towel. If you've got any yoga blocks at home, you can place that underneath the tailbone. Just to help you get a little bit more of a lift over those hips so that we're not having to arch the back to keep us sat upright. Also, you could try sitting up against a wall. It might not be able to do some of the arm movements quite the same, but you can get the same sort of feeling there. Just really want to support that body. We're going to bring our arms, I'll come facing the front so that you can see. Arms into a T position. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, I want you to rotate from that upper portion of the body, so above that belly button, rotating the chest. And let's just start with some rotations there. Back to center. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. So we'll use those inhales to bring us back to center. Exhale, rotate. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Keep those shoulders pulling down the back. Lovely. Keeping those arms in line with the body. So we're maintaining that upper body position and we're literally just rotating from that belly button and up. Okay, come back to center. Next one, I want you to rotate and we're going to stretch over towards that right foot. So just bringing that chest towards the knee, but keeping the back nice and straight here. So we rotate and aim towards that foot, but we're still going to keep the hands here in that T position. Just add a bit of hamstring length there. Great work. Carry on like that. It's just a little variation of the saw, and we'll work towards our full saw movement through some other sessions. Let's just go for one more each side. And back to center. Give those legs a little shake out, especially if you're feeling a bit of tension in the hip flexors. If you are feeling that, it's a good option to add the pillow or the yoga block underneath the tailbone so that you can really relax through there and just focus on the movement. Okie dokie, we're going to go into last little section, which is actually going to involve a little tiny bit of strength work, but we're going to focus on using the exercises for our mobilization. So first one, we're going to go for just only four of our full roll-ups. So bring yourself lying, outstretch, inhale, prepare. Let's have flexed feet for this today. Exhale, arms begin to pull you up. Chin is not to chest, but we're still remembering that small apple between the chin and the chest. Draw the core in. Lifting up and over. You can even take a little bit more of a hamstring stretch here because it's our mobility section if you want to here at the bottom. Inhale. Stack in. Exhale. Imagine somebody's pushing you down in those upper ribs there, creating that nice C curve on the way down. Peeling down vertebra by vertebra. So remembering that our focus for today's session is spine mobility. So that's what I want you to think about with this roll up. How much of that spine can you leave on the floor before you pick it up? So for example here, we're going to roll down. I want you to imagine that your back is a string of pearls going all down your spine. You've got 20. We're going to place the first one down, and then the second, and then the third, and then the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, so on, so on, so on, all the way down. And on the way up, inhale, exhale, we're going to lift the 20th pearl, but the 19th has to stay down. We're going to lift the 19th, 18th has to stay down. Lift the 18th, but the 17th has to stay down. So on and so on, all the way up. Put that first pearl down, second, third. All the others have to stay lifted until you've put the one before it down. Oh, I'm feeling it today. One more. Well done, everybody. And relax there. Next, we're going to come into our shoulder bridge. But again, we're going to focus this more on the spine mobility rather than the glutes. The glutes will still be working. But I really want you to think about mobilizing through that spine with that peeling action that we've done so much of over today and the last couple of sessions. Inhale. Exhale. Really tilt that pelvis under, drawing that core in, tightening that belt around your lower tummy. Plant the hands into the mat and roll, peel, 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 really keeping that sense of tilt in the pelvis. Inhale at the top, exhale, again think about that string of pearls down your back, really, really peeling that spine, painting it one vertebra at a time onto the mat. Inhale, Exhale. Nice and slowly with these. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, tilt. Start that movement with that tilt of the pelvis. Lifting up. Exhale. Really slowly tilt the pelvis. Put a little bit down. Tilt it. Put a little bit down. Tilt. A little bit down. Tilt. 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 Lovely. Inhale. Exhale, do the same thing but with a bit more flow, tilting, putting it down, tilting, putting it down, tilting, putting it down. We're going to do 2 more. Keeping those collarbones wide. 1 more. And relax. Quick little stretch out of the glutes there. Even though we're focused on the spine, this glute is still working to lift those hips. You know you've got the options here to lift. Pushing that knee away. Really allowing yourself to start to relax towards the end of class now. Swapping over. Lift. Also got the option to keep that foot on the floor if you can feel that stretch nice enough down there. And lowering. Let's hold on to the back of the legs. Just pull yourself up. You've done enough ab work for today. Lovely stuff. And we're just going to finish off with a couple of roll downs to bring us back up into our standing position. So let's start in a crouch here. Inhale at bottom. Exhale, press those heels down into the mat. Straightening through the legs. Rolling the shoulders. And let's lift the arms. Exhale down. You might be able to keep the legs a lot straighter now. Feel a bit of a stretch in the hamstrings. Arms reaching up. 1 more, exhale down. And stack that spine back up. Roll the shoulders back and down, head lifts. And feel a nice sense of openness, strength, ready to go about the rest of your day, whatever time it is. Well done, everybody. You have just finished week 2. Join us next week for week 3, where we're going to start increasing that strength, learn some new exercises, and carry on with our 8-week Pilates course. I will see you there. Goodbye.